the bank, the lender, and know the fine details and everything, and make sure there's no exceptions that they need to get at the end. So really disrespectful. I was pissed, and I was frustrated for a good 20, 30 minutes. I was like, this is pissing me off. It probably actually wasn't even that long.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well today. I'm your host, Brandon Elliott. And first off, just want to acknowledge all the subscribers. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Keep it coming. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you're waiting for. What you're going to want to do is stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to your podcast episodes. Once you are subscribed, you'll get the newest notification every single Monday, first off. Second, after listening to a few episodes, leave that 5-star review. Give us the feedback. We are all geared towards educating, motivating, and preparing you to take action in real estate investing. And I'm going to be sharing a couple different stories today, about 3 stories, in fact, about different aspects and positions where there was fear in certain pieces of my real estate journey, and how gratitude helped push me through, and how I truly feel a lot of people right now that I've been seeing lately, at least, have been focusing too much on the stinking thinking, and you might not even know it. But I promise you, if you stay in that state for too long, it will hold you back. It's in fact holding you back right now from your full potential, your greatest you. So with that being said, before we jump into that, if you haven't already shared this out with somebody or tagged somebody in it that needs to see it, do that right now also. If you're driving, if you're doing something crazy or working out, that's okay. Listen to this, but then later on, make sure you rewind this, take some notes. If you're home stationed right now, then make sure you're taking some notes on this. There's going to be some good takeaways here. And I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, but we will see where the good Lord takes us today, okay? First off, I just also wanted to say my birthday was yesterday, and because this is going to be more of a gratitude type of focus, and I'm not a big mindset person, or I wouldn't say that I is somebody that specializes in mindset. I'm still working on my damn mindset, but I have paid a lot into mindsets, training and help and so forth. And what I would say is, because we're going to talk about that, I do want to state thank you for every single person that ended up reaching out yesterday and sending all the love and support during my birthday for Valentine's Day. Jen, of course, my better half, she ended up, as always, just going above and beyond and blessing me, waking me up to basically just all the good things. And she ended up hooking it up with 3 new pairs of shoes, because I'm a shoes guy. And just a fun packed day. And then today we're going to go see, she blessed me with a basketball game. We're going to go sit down and watch the San Diego State Aztecs versus Boise tonight. So that'll be fun. And then we are preparing to go this Tuesday to Dallas, Texas. So all the Dallas, Texas people out there, what's up? We're going to be in your neck of the woods this coming week till about Saturday at another mastermind group, and we'll be watching another basketball game over there. So super stoked for that. Dallas Mavericks, that'll be fun. I've always wanted to watch Luka, and then I just found out he just got traded. He just got traded like 2 weeks ago. So to the LA. So I guess I'll be able to see him a little bit easier up here. But anyway, let's dive into it. So what I wanted to chat about again is focusing more on gratitude. And how do you do that? How do you, it's not going to be everything a part of the pie, right? You need strategic planning, systems, goals to be able to hit your goals. However, mindset is so much of everything. If you don't have that strong foundational piece of mindset, and a positive mindset, not a mediocre mindset, not a half decent mindset, not a poor mindset, not a broken spirit mindset, not a poor me mindset, not any of these negative things type of mindset, because and many of us carry that one, from either generational things, or two, from just growing up, like that 10-year-old self. You don't know, like we all get impacted one way or another from family. And so not ill will 9 times out of 10, but there are certain pieces to that will take place that are going to dictate exactly who you are as you grow up as an adult. And so whether you acknowledge that or not, most of us, we don't even understand it or realize it until you start growing up and you start realizing, oh, all the things that I disliked about this, and this, I'm actually repeating and doing the same things, and history repeats itself. Why? Because it's how you were taught. It's the generational curses that are kind of getting passed on. So you can pick the generational blessings as well. But what I would say is a lot of the generational holdbacks and pushbacks and insecurities and fear and stinking thinking, if you will, that needs to be first, number one, acknowledged. You must acknowledge these things first so that you can be not ignorant to the fact that they are there. There's certain things in your life that is taking place right here, right now, on your everyday thought process, on your everyday actions that are actually holding you back from the greater purpose that God has called you to become. And so until you acknowledge that, then it's kind of like having a bullet wound in your gut, and you don't even realize, like, hey, I didn't realize I was shot. Like, I'm not shot, I'm good. It's like, dude, you're leaking everywhere. You're making a mess, like you're not going to make it much longer. But until you acknowledge that you have this problem or these circumstances, that you don't need to label it a problem. You can just call it what it is. It's something that is holding you back from the greater purpose of yourself. And once you first acknowledge that, then you can actually start making changes and differences to this. A couple things that kind of popped out to me is almost 5 years ago, we got into real estate investing and holding properties out here in San Diego. And so it was a fourplex, which was our first one that we were holding. We've done other fix and flips out here, but a fourplex that we wanted to hold. And as we were doing the renovation, even just purchasing it was before COVID. And it was a wild experience because there were one vacancy, there was 3 that were tenants. One had been there for like 40 years, something like 36 years, something like that, paying $400 a month since the very beginning. And then another one was one of her sons. And so that seemed like he was actually the best. But of course, the one that kept on saying, oh, you don't need to worry about me. And like, we felt that way as well. He ended up being the one that took the longest. And then there was another one that was like a nightmare situation as well. That was like that she ended up not paying for the last 4 years, paying at all. And it was because the owner originally was an elderly man that was in and out of the hospital and so forth. And so this person just stopped paying and was living rent free and so forth. And we thought that was going to be a big issue. We did cash for keys for that one and signed a document and was out. And so that was actually the easiest. The older lady that was there for 36 years, she was a hoarder as well, and she had her whole life there. And so we had to be delicate and also help her pack and move and get things ready. And so that was ups and downs, and we were there every day. But prior to actually even closing on this, we had to raise capital. Like, we had credit as well. And so we did pull out some credit to be able to make this happen, but it was a 1.25 million. So 1,250,000 to be able to purchase this. And we needed another 160,000 for the renovations. This was before all the prices got crazy for renovations. Now all my deals cost about 200,000 for renovations. It's crazy out here in San Diego, that is. I want to let you know that as from a viewer that might be looking in at our lives and seeing the overnight success of what it might have looked like to watch some of my stuff on social media or just pay attention from a distance, it might look like everything was all fine and dandy. It might look like overnight success. What I would tell you on correction of that is there were a lot of sleepless nights. There was a lot of worry, fear that I was allowing to creep in that I didn't even acknowledge. And that's that piece that I want to tell you, the acknowledgement part. As I've grown more in my faith and got a stronger connection with God, I started realizing that I was allowing some of these spirits of fear and anxiety and stress and worry and what if this. And over time, I was able to start breaking those things off because I realized the more that back then I would call it gambling. Like the more I would just say, screw it, I'm willing to fail. I'm going to gamble and just push through and give it my best shot. That's my mentality back then. I was just like, if I'm going to fail and screw up, I'm going to do it anyway. I'd rather do it in style and at least give it my best shot. And that's kind of just my mindset. And I know that sounds ridiculous and I know it sounds possibly crazy. I had a stinking thinking mindset, and I'm not the best now either. But what I would say is I had a stinking thinking, broken mindset, a poverty mindset. But I was still just thinking to myself, man, I'm a screw up. Like I made all the mistakes. I've all these negative words that I was saying to myself. And I was like, but I see this thing, real estate, as potentially a way out. I think it could work. It feels like it could work. It's the only thing I've ever got excited for when I'm reading a book. So I was like, shoot, if this does work, I deserve it to myself. I deserve it to other people around me to at least give it a try. And if I'm going to fail in life anyway, it's like, at least I failed for shooting for the moon. God knows where I could land. That was the mindset. Honest to God, I was like, even if I mess up, I don't know. I'm going to mess up in life anyway. So I'd rather just go for it. And so I was still going through that process. It's easier said than done. When you go through the process, very fearful, scary, like terrifying, nerve-wracking, anxiety, like stress, like I wasn't sleeping well with certain times. And over the years, I've been able to cancel that stuff out and start acknowledging like, man, it's all working out. It worked out exactly how I saw it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't simplified at the time, but it was something that when the obstacles came up and when the problems arise, like we pivoted, we made the best decision, the best thing that we could, and we learned from it. And we, over time, we just failed forward and we still succeeded. We still did well. It was still profitable. It was still, it's like, and overall, I would say that fourplex, we were able to do a BRRRR strategy on it. It appraised for a lot more. We have no money into it. We got all of our money back. We got a loan on it at 2.95% interest rate for a fourplex, like 30-year fixed, locked and loaded. Those were when the interest rates were really good still. We were able to take a HELOC out for a second position with PenFed and be able to get a lot of money from that as well. And then we have it for Airbnb and we're doing very well. We've gotten tax benefits from it. And so it just has all worked out slow and steady over time. But there's pieces to the puzzle and the whole process that were scary as hell. And so over time, I've been able to break off those things. But at first, I didn't even acknowledge that, like, why was I allowing some of this stuff to come in? I think what you can do is focusing on the proper energy. The proper energy, because I started realizing that a lot of these things that I was fearful of, scared, terrified, anxiety over, losing sleep over, those things were like the absolute worst case scenario. And realistically, I had so many backup plans. I had so many things, like I kept on thinking about all these things. So I was prepared in case the worst, but I didn't really have it. I didn't know what to do if those things did come up. Like, I don't know, but they never came up. A lot of those horrible things, it just didn't come to fruition. And I started looking up statistics behind it. And I think I forget what the numbers are. I'm not going to BS you here, but I believe it was like anywhere from like 70 to 80 or 90%, something wild like that, of the things that we spend all this time, energy, like focusing on the negative things. It rarely ever comes to actual fruition. And so we spend all this time in this negative state, this negative energy, anxiety and stress, and we're like killing ourselves. We're killing ourselves. Life is too damn short, and we're focusing on all this negative energy, the stinking thinking, and it's holding us back from our full potential. Can you imagine if you just had that full confidence and you feared less and you just stayed in a victorious mindset? You would first off sleep a hell of a lot better. You would realize, like, what's the worst case scenario? I'm okay with that. I'm good. I'm like a child of God. I'm like the best. I got victory within me. Like if you just started focusing on that type of energy, you'd probably live longer because of the lack of stress you're putting on your body, and you're also probably just going to push forward and succeed a little bit better too, in many different ways. Staying in a poor energy, like stinking thinking energy, versus a victory and gratitude energy, it's a big difference. There's another story that over in Ohio, it was like our third, maybe fourth or fifth deal over in Ohio. It was our second year in. It was like 2016. Got a triplex. I bought it for $20,000. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I found out later on that it was a big drug house back in the day, and like drug dealers were in there and they were on the news, and they had a shootout with the cops and everything. So crazy. But I just sold this property too, by the way. I held it for a long time, did great for me. We did a full renovation on it. I put about, I think, 70, 80,000 into it, but I bought it for $20,000, and it had from a shotgun, like bullet fragments all next to, like on the siding next to this window. So just crazy stuff. But we did a full renovation to it and purchased it for 20, put about, let's say 70,000 into it. So all in about 90,000. Now, when I went to go do the BRRRR strategy, buy distress, renovate it, do the full renovation, make it brand new again, rent it out to well-qualified tenants, getting top rent, or getting like $850 to $900 per unit, and then ended up refining it. And then you get all your money back. Ideally, that's the goal. Sometimes you even get paid on it. And then you actually repeat the process. Well, I went to refinance it, and appraisers are like a dime a dozen, right? We all know this. So when you end up, if you got 10 different appraisers and you tell them to just come up with an appraisal, they're all going to give you a different number, which is crazy. It's not functional. They should come out with something AI related to be able to help us a little bit more here. But with that being said, it ended up appraising for $40,000. And I was like, you're kidding me. Like, we did a full renovation. I got 70,000 extra into it. Like, we painted everything, brand new electrical, even electrical meters, new decks, new windows, new appliances, new flooring, gutted bathrooms, gutted kitchens. Originally, like, everything was updated. And I was just shocked how this could happen. But they were looking at the original 20K purchase, really. That's what held it back. So anyway, I was terrified with this. And then so I was like, well, I can't do that one because I have this all on credit cards. At the time, we were still doing a lot of credit card investing. And so 0% interest on the credit cards. However, and if you're in Credit Counsel Elite, like, you know this, how to leverage these things properly. But so it was good debt, if you will, but good debt was running out soon, And so I only had about 12 to 15 months before the 0% interest was coming up. And I would start paying like 20% interest. So the pressure was on. I was like, hey, I gotta go. We gotta find another appraiser. And because the difference was so far, I mean, 40,000, I really needed it at 100 something, or just higher, like anything. It was terrifying to me. I was losing sleep. I didn't even want to look at any other numbers or appraisals, but I started going through another appraisal because I just had to. So went with another company, started going through another appraisal, and long story short, I didn't want to look at any other numbers or appraisals. I was just praying for a certain number. I was praying for 135, just 135. I just needed at 135. If I get at 135, I can have a new loan at 95,000 something. I'll get all my money back. Get all my money back and be able to pay off these credit cards, and I can actually repeat this process. And sure enough, me just focusing that good energy into it and praying on it, and tither's rights, I like to say, ended up getting exactly that number. And I didn't look at any other appraisals or any other houses in the area. I was just praying for this number. And so I think that good energy and praying into it, obviously, I know there's a lot of favor in my life, but if I would have just gave up, if I would have did the poor me, I've had mentors in the past that say, instead of pointing the finger at others and it's their fault, point the thumb and say, it's my fault. It's my fault. I take full responsibility for all my success. All that success is my fault. I did that. I put myself in the right position. I did this with a team. I built up a team. I ended up, praying into it. I ended up declaring greatness into my life. I did all that. Same thing when it doesn't go my way. I did that. I put myself in that position. I made myself vulnerable with these people that screwed me over. I tried to make a relationship work, but it didn't. And I let them break my heart. I did that. And I'm okay with that. So instead of pointing the finger at others, point the thumb, and focusing, your circle is so crucial, right? Like if I didn't have a circle at like men's prayer to be able to pray into it with me, to be able to start declaring things like, dude, you don't need to lose sleep over this. You can just pray onto it, declare it, and walk in confidence. You don't need to look up any other appraisals or any other properties you don't need to work with the appraiser on it. You can just declare this, speak life into it, and then show up like you always do and move on to the next. And so that circle was very different that I was hanging out with than what I used to hang out with back in like New Jersey, right? Where, certain areas, certain groups of friends is just a lot of negative stinking thinking. And they don't know any better. It's not their fault. And you don't know any better. It's not your fault. However, again, acknowledging, first off, noticing what's going on, what's popping up, what's holding you back, why is that energy negative, or why do you have the negative thoughts going through your head, the stinking thinking? How do we acknowledge it and get out of that state as soon as possible and start focusing on more of gratitude? I think one of the best things that has helped me the most, and as much as I would love to say, waking up with a ton of gratitude right in the morning, doing it every day, having a gratitude journal and writing that out in the morning and even evening, before going to bed, focusing on gratitude. But what I would say is I'm not as militant with that. I'm not as religious with that. I have many mornings woken up and just like feel so much gratitude and like want to pray into it and be grateful. Yesterday for my birthday, I was just receiving so much love that I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with God and like have it while I was in the car and just worship a little bit, and then listening to songs, and then afterwards just be able to like, be thankful and grateful for my life and everything that we've been able to accomplish, and the grace in my life, and just overall the blessings and all the favor that I've been allowed to be able to pull off and help out, and to be able to inspire others. Just that gratitude, I think it's very important, right? But what I would say is one of the best things that has always helped me out is when I started to acknowledge stinking thinking coming in, or my old mindset, or again, because I grew up with a mother's manic depressive bipolar. And so like at your 10-year-old self, whether you acknowledge it or not, we all have something from that. Most of it's not ill intention. Some unfortunately had to go through some ill intention, but most of it's all good. Like there's more good people in this world than negative or bad people. And so it's not intentionally negative or bad, but trust me when I tell you there's certain pieces to what you've experienced, and consciously or not, that's ingrained in you. And so what I would say is once I started acknowledging these things, and anytime that I would feel down or start focusing more on fear, like when fear started knocking basically and coming around, the faster that I would start acknowledging this, and this is definitely within the last couple of years, I would just stop right away. I would stop and be like, now this is a choice. I have a choice today, just like I have free will and a choice with everything. I'm not a slave to anybody or anything. I have a choice today to stay in this negative energy and something that doesn't feel good, something that doesn't feel right, doesn't feel like my best self, doesn't feel like I can serve anybody else, feels more selfish, if anything. But it is a feeling though. It is like how I'm feeling, negative, whatever. I have a choice to either continue this for as long as it takes. Like it could be the whole day. It could go into the next day. It could take a whole damn week from me. God knows. Or I have a choice to start breaking this shit off right now. I have a choice to start breaking this off because I just acknowledged it. I acknowledge this stuff start creeping in, and I have a choice to actually do my best to make it right. And I don't necessarily need to do it by myself either. A lot of us feel like we have to do things by ourselves. No, you can reach out to a friend, you can reach out to a buddy, you can pray into it, you can tell your better half and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. I don't want to feel like it. And so I just wanted to come into agreement with you and somebody else. Like, I want to say it out loud because I acknowledge words are powerful. I want to state this loud and proud of like, I'm done feeling negative or feeling fearful. I'm canceling this shit out. It's not going to serve me. It's not what God has intended for me. This isn't who I am. I stay in a victorious state of mind. Like I'm here to crush it and do bigger and better things. And so focusing on changing that energy and start just getting more into like, I don't need this negative stuff, this stinking thinking, this old me. I'm a new version of me each and every day, and I'm 1% better than I was the day before. And focusing on that type of energy and praying into it and declaring greatness in your life and breaking off all the negative things with focusing on that gratitude and improving that energy, praying into it. That has been one of my best things that I've done because I don't stay in a negative mindset for as long. And it really, really helps me. And so some people have a very difficult time, I believe, with just acknowledging it first, that you're having these fears, like all this negative energy building up, or because it turns into being frustrated and upset and angry, sad, and all these other things. And now you just have to like vent it out to so many people. It's like, and you blow up. You don't need that. You can like start acknowledging how you're feeling right here today and start realizing, why am I feeling this way? And how do I actually make the change? And the change is never easy because it's something that is uncomfortable and it's out of your comfort zone. It's something different than what you're currently doing on your routine. And most people don't do well with change. So how do I actually change into something that's going to better myself? And if I think changing this negative thing into something else that's going to help me, you believe so, and it doesn't help you, and you're like, well, what the heck? Why'd I try that? Another failure type of thing. It's like if you're counting all the negative things and you're not focusing on the good things. And as human beings, it's very common for like our like survival instinct, fight or flight type of mode of like us to count all the all the negative things. It's the same reason why when you're going past an accident, we all go slower and we all like watch. It's like we want to see and learn from all the negative things that are going on so that it doesn't happen to us, right? And why you enjoy watching like fighting or like just action stuff, because it's like it's risk taking and it's something that at the end of the day, it's totally, you're trying to make sure that you survive these things. However, instead of focusing so much energy on these negative things, why don't you just start focusing on the dreaming aspect of like, man, if I could do this, like as I do this, and just start visioning yourself doing it, like winning, like victory, like actually, just focusing more in that gratitude state and counting all the blessings, big, small, anything, like the roof over my head, the hair on my head, whether it's a lot or a little, the lights on, all the things that we have, all the food, the friends, the fellowship, the blessings, the beautifulness outside, the trees, the birds, the rain, like start counting these blessings, because we focus so much energy on the negative stuff and not enough on the positive. And if you focus too much on the negative stuff, that stinking thinking, our circles that we're surrounding with, that's 100% going to hold you back. So one other story really quick, a few weeks ago, but basically the beginning of January, let me take this back. Jen's birthday last year, it was May 16th, 2024. We ended up purchasing a property in the neighborhood of Old Town, San Diego. So right around the corner from us, just walking distance. A year or so before, It was right across the street. We purchased the property, did a fix and flip, netted $475,000, increased the value of everybody's home in the neighborhood. Everybody loved us, right? Well, the neighbor to that house ended up loving us and ended up knowing that the people behind them, that their childhood friends that they grew up with, that they both lived there for like 40 years, they were getting ready to sell it. So they ended up telling us about it. We gave an off-market offer and ended up closing on that property for $1.2 million. And we did a full renovation. We turned it into 2 units, beautiful corner lots, great size, amazing home. And we were looking to sell it in November. Well, as we have it listed for like a month and a half, we're just not getting any offers, no bids. And it was crazy. And so our agent wanted to keep like lowering the price. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. And so I dropped it one time or maybe twice. After that, I was like, screw this. I want to keep it anyway. Let's refinance it. So we started refinancing it, and we went with a lender that I have a great relationship with. Haven't done any real estate deals with, but I have a strong bank relationship with. And banking relationships is a big piece of the pie, right? And so anyway, ended up having this banking relationship, and they felt more than confident on paper and everything that I should be able to complete this refi. Everything's going well. They have all my documents, and then they are getting ready. It's like a Thursday. They're getting ready to get the documents prepared to be able to sign Monday so that we can have the final approval Thursday or Friday and then be able to sign Monday and get the refi. And I was going to be pulling out about $300,000. And I was like, yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what I need. And it was like, cool, this is going to help out a lot. Get all my money back, $300,000. I would have about an extra $100,000 plus the tax benefits, 2 units now in Old Town. I have it, a 30-year fix, and then I will be able to I'll be able to do Airbnb, get great money from it, all that stuff. So I was like, cool, having that would be awesome. Afterwards, check this out. They couldn't get the final approval, and the reason is because I have more than 6 investment properties, and the agent or like the lender person, I forget what the hell they're called right now, but didn't tell me that up front. Didn't tell me that because they were trying to get some exceptional approval at the very end and because of our relationship and try to just, get their commission. So some real BS because they didn't want to put any fear in me and they were just trying to force something. Not good business at all. Really disrespectful because I whatever, it could have thrown things off for me or whoever that they're doing business with. So always triple check with the bank, the lender, and know the fine details and everything and make sure there's no exceptions that they need to get at the end. So really disrespectful. I was pissed and I was frustrated for a good 20, 30 minutes. I was like, this is pissing me off. It probably actually wasn't even that long. It carried out probably that long externally, but internally I gave it a good 10 minutes. And then afterwards I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm jumping into prayer. I'm declaring greatness into it. And then after that, I'm making calls. I'm taking action next. So prayed into it, took action next and declared greatness into it. Called up 2 other lenders, started getting quotes, and we seemed good to go on both. I ended up getting the other one of the 2 lenders. I went back to the person that has all my documents from closing on a deal right on the 31st, our dream home, Jen and I's dream home in Carlsbad on the 31st of December. So they have all my docs. It was like, cool, that was just 2 weeks ago. Can we still do something? And he looked at it and he was like, dude, this is going to appraise for about $500K more than what you thought it would. I was like, what? Really? Okay, cool. Let's see, kind of BS, right? Sure as hell it did. He had 2 different appraisals come out because of the dollar amount, but $2.5 million it appraised for. $2.5 million. So what took place in this refi, just closed on it the other day. On my birthday, I got the funds, so it was a nice birthday present, but ended up collecting not $300,000, which I would have had an extra $100,000 from that because I had $200K into it on credit cards. Not $100,000 from $300,000, but literally instead of $300,000, $620,000 walked away with. $620,000. And so the gratitude, the whole story behind that is if you get out of your own way, if you stop shutting down and staying in a negative state of mind for too long and just focus on gratitude, maybe God's just trying to make a way of dude, don't worry about this little stuff. Don't worry about the problems. I'm already 3 feet in front of you. I'm leading this path. Like, I got you, bro. I got you. If you could just shut up and like stay close with me, I got you. And so not even ever since then, but like for the last couple of years, it's just been like, the more I can stop worrying about the things that are out of my control, because I realize I'm not the most talented person out there. I'm talented from all the gifts that God has given me. But the more that I realize, like, dude, he is leading this, like the big man on top it, he's the one that's running the show. And so if I can just stay out of this negative state of mind, because it's always like that never takes place. There's always something good that's coming up, whether it's in the first, half of the game or the second. It doesn't necessarily need to, if I get a loss here, cool, that's fine. Denied application, cool, that's fine. There's probably something bigger and better out there. Get excited for it. When I used to do door-to-door Kirby vacuum cleaners, selling a $3,500 vacuum cleaner, they used to tell us, and this is how I got so damn good at it. It was all a numbers game. So we knew that if I knocked a whole neighborhood, knocked the doors, I'm going to get like every like 20 houses or so, I'm going to get somebody to say yes eventually. So if I'm at like 30 and I don't have anybody that said yes so far, that's okay. Start getting excited, because the numbers game doesn't lie. And that it is a numbers game. It's repetitive. You got to take action. And so I know that I have 2 or 3 coming up here very soon. And so I'm just going to keep on getting excited, because I'm that much closer to my goal. And so anyway, it's just pieces of the puzzles here that we don't have anything overnight. There's no overnight success. There's no, amazing life that you see on social media and so forth. There's a lot of trials, tribulations. There's situations and setbacks that you're going to go through and that we go through each and every day, just like you do. I encourage you to get out of that stinking thinking, because that is holding you back, my friend, right here, right now. And God has called you to do bigger and better things. And so if you need a better circle, then put yourself in that. Like, step out of your comfort zone. I'm very introvert naturally. I don't like being the center of attention, but I also have gotten comfortable getting out of my comfort zone. And the more that you do it, the better that you become at tricking everybody and thinking that you're extrovert, so anyway, I love you guys all so much. If you are looking for a community that cares about you, wants to do bigger and better things, and then check out the Credit Counsel Elite family, baby. It is all geared towards showing you how to get massive amounts of funding. I'm talking up to $500,000, and you can get interest rates as low as 0%. So I'm talking a lot of funding. We can teach you the 45 different metrics on how these banks and lenders are judging you, so you know how to play the game, fix your credit, boost up your score, get to the 800 club for the first time or for the second many times, but stay there, get massive amounts of business credit, personal credit, rates as low as 0%. You can actually repeat this every 6 months per person. And after you get all this funding, liquidate it into cash so that you can start a business, grow a business, scale a business. We'll show you how to set up bookkeeping, tax filing, tax preparation, get the best of the best hooked up for you, travel hacking. We are literally a one-stop shop, a full service to be able to see you succeed. And this is a community that actually cares about you. And we have 350 other members. We have a brand new course as well, and a brand new app that we just developed. So super excited for that. So love you guys all so much. If you have any questions behind that, reach out. Just go to creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. There's a quick 5-10 minute video on there that explains more about what the heck we're doing and how it can actually help serve you, answer some questions, get you prepared for better questions to ask, and then just schedule a one-on-one call with either myself or somebody on our team. But I love you guys all so much. Have a blessed day. I'm sitting in gratitude with all the love and support from the last couple of days. You guys are amazing. Keep blessing yourself. Like, get out there, make something of the day. Subscribe to the podcast so you get the newest notification every Monday. Leave that 5-star review if you haven't, and then go check out Credit Counsel Elite, and we'll see you on the next episode. Till next time, guys, God bless.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.